everybody, Tony Krizek here with a big thank you to Alicia for filleting those kings and cohos up for us. And what we have left over are those salmon eggs that she put on the side for me. Now once those kings and the cohos start dropping eggs, that's when the spawn bite's really going to pick up, and we need to actually preserve all the eggs we can during this time of year when we're catching them on spoons and crankbaits. Now there's two different ways we can save the spawn. There's one way which is called curing, which is where we'll actually add ingredients to the eggs so they hold their color. We can even change their color with different dyes and scents and things of that nature, and also helps keep those eggs in a cluster together a little easier. My way that I like to fish them is a natural way. It's actually where we're going to take our spawn, leave it in the skein itself, and we're going to go ahead and cut it into just golf ball sized chunks so we can apply that to our hooks and use them fresh. Now when you do it that way, you do burn through a lot more spawn, because as the eggs get wet they'll lose their color and their scent, and you have to toss them if you haven't caught a fish right away. So you'd burn through more eggs, but myself personally, I do enjoy using that fresh pattern. So right now, let's show you exactly how we save these eggs. Now the eggs have been laid out here, and I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to cut these things. We're going to keep them inside the skein, and that's this membrane like here that's actually keeping the eggs together. Now when those females, you'll see them jumping when they're in the harbors, and what they're doing is busting this skein up so the eggs are going to be loose, and then they can drop them a lot easier. But we want to keep them in the skein because we're not curing these eggs. So we're going to actually utilize that skein to our advantage to keep the egg clusters together. Now when we cut them, we don't want to go too big but not too small either. Just like a ping pong ball or golf ball sized chunk, just like so. And you can see a couple will fall out here and there, but mostly that skein will keep that cluster together for us. Now we don't want to go too small, too big. The reason we like this size is this will actually work perfectly with the hook setup that we use. It's a little bit different, a little bit gnarly in comparison to how you may run them if you were running a skein, or if you were running rather a cured skein, or if you were going to do a net on them, a spawn net setup. So we'll show you that in just a second, but let's go ahead and get all these cut up here for you. So now that we have our egg clusters cut into chunks here, what we're going to do is go ahead and bag them up. Now I only like to put maybe about 5 or 6 egg clusters into each bag, and the reason for it is this way it's a lot easier to get the air out, because if you guys are freezing them, we're going to show you how to set it up for freezing purposes. Otherwise, if you guys were heading right out to the lake right now, we could go ahead and just run them as is. But what we do, we're going to let the eggs settle to the bottom of the bag like so. Push them down. You don't want to go too hard because you don't want to be popping the eggs. But we're just kind of squeezing, and we're going to slowly roll the bag right on up. And it's okay for the eggs to sit in their natural juices like that. It's only going to help scent them. And we can go ahead and zipper them up. If you guys didn't want to do the Ziploc bag system, what you can do, especially if you're going to be freezing the eggs for a long period of time, maybe you have a bunch of spawn, or you were still just a ways away yet from the kings actually dropping eggs. So what you can do if you have a food saver or a vacuum sealer is go ahead and put the eggs in one of those to really get all the air out, especially if they're going to be sitting in the freezer for a long time. That's going to be the best way to go ahead and store these eggs without curing them. So now let's go ahead and show you how we actually use our eggs here and the type of rig that we're going to set up for them. Now if you guys had cured the eggs and you cured them outside of the skein, you would use an actual mesh material or a netting, the spawn sacks. But we're not using that because we're not doing the cure. So we can't just take our hook and stick it through that net material. Because it's still in the skein, we need a special kind of knot And that's what we're going to show you how to set up right now. Now when we're setting this up, I'm actually going to be using a heavier line than we would actually run for when we're fishing spawn. I usually go no higher than 8-pound test when we do this. But for the demonstration purposes, I'm actually going to tie this with 12 just so it's a little easier for our cameras to pick up and so you guys can actually see exactly how I'm doing this. So we have our small spawn hook right here. And we never want to go anything too big. Size 2 is about all you're really going to need. And basically, most people think when you tie a knot, you tie it right to that eyelet. Not on this setup. Let's show you what we do. Start out first by taking your line and actually kind of forming a loop, doubling it, forming that loop just like so. Now that we have our loop set, we'll pick up our hook and we'll actually place the loop right alongside the shank, and we want the loop to be below the bend of the hook. Now, what we'll do is we can grab it where we have it looped off, and we're going to go ahead and take this long line. And when you go to start this, probably do this on about 2 feet of line. And we can trim it to size later. We'll show you how we're going to use it. But we're going to take our line, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. After we've wrapped it 7 times, go ahead, take our long line, go right through that loop. Now, we'll slowly start to cinch it down. And you can kind of help form the knot. Just kind of pushing everything into place, just like so. So we've actually tied that on the bend of the hook. Now, when we go to actually set it, we want to make sure that our tag line is on the bottom. And now we can go ahead and give it a good tug. Make sure it's nice and tight. We'll actually go ahead and we can trim the tag end very close. It's not going to slip. And what we do now is take our line and we'll actually pass it right through the eyelet. So now we have our lasso rig. And what we do, we take the spawn at this point, and bear in mind the tag end would be trimmed, but we pull out a little bit of line. We would place our spawn in between the lasso and the hook, and then we pull it up and it'll hold our spawn right in place for us. Now you can play around and trim the tag line up, the main line rather, however long or short you would like it to be, and the fish will kind of tell you what they're looking for. If you're not getting bites at a certain length, you can change it, retie, make it longer, make it shorter. But what we'll do, we tie this off to a swivel. Above the swivel will be a little bead. We'll have a free sliding weight, a slip bobber, and then of course our bobber stop. And we can also adjust our depths. And the reason we use that swivel, 2 reasons. Number 1, of course, because we're doing that lasso rig, it has to be a separate line. But also, the weight being above on the swivel will now allow the currents to bounce our spawn around naturally. So if you guys don't want to do the cures and you want to go all natural, this is the setup you're going to want to use. And you'll be seeing this setup very soon on more great episodes of Tony's Spot On Fishing.